I guess I'm gonna go ahead and do some more wet sanding on the rest of the car. I left off at 800 grit, so I'm gonna go ahead and go to 1,000. Then I'll give that rear quarter some time to cure a little bit more, and I'll hit it with 800. So that's where I'm at with it. Hopefully it's done this weekend. I know I keep saying this, but unfortunately stuff happens. Alright guys, I got this rear quarter all wet sanded with 800. Then I started doing 1,000 grit on the trunk here. I figured I'd walk through the steps real quick of moving up in grit. Alright, so basically what you want to do, go ahead and wipe this panel off. So clean it up real quick. I just use water. Some people I've heard of using soapy water to get more lubricant, which makes sense, but I never had any problems with just water. So you're gonna wipe down with water, squeegee it off. Then when it dries, you can, I don't know if you can tell it in the camera here, but you can kind of see how scratches go this way. So now the next grit you want to go the opposite way, so up and down. Then that you stop when all the scratches are gone and they're all going up and down. And that means all your 800 grit marks are out. So wet your panel up. And it is a lot easier after the first step is done. The first step, you gotta level it all and get all imperfections out and trash and all that. So your next step, which is 1,000, you got a flat surface you're working with. Just make sure you keep water on it. If it starts catching, just rinse your sandpaper out. I keep a bucket of water beside me. Then your body lines, don't spend too much time on those. Especially the sharp ones I stay away from, period. Alright. When you think you got it, just again wipe the panel all down. Get all that white stuff off. The white stuff is actually your clear coat you're sanding off. If you start seeing your color, so in my case it'd be red, then you're in big trouble. Which is what happened to me before. And that means you're all the way through your clear coat. Alright, looks like I have some sideways marks here. Notice I just saying sideways, I kind of forget. But I'll go ahead and hit this section one more time up and down, and everything else looks pretty good. Right when the water starts to evaporate off there is the best time to see where your lines are going, because your dips from the scratches are going to hold water. So looks like they're all going the same way now. So that means if I were just doing this panel, I can move up to 1500 grit, and then I would go sideways with it. And then once the up and down marks are gone, then I'm done with the 1500. But I got the whole car to do, so unfortunately it's not going to work out that fast. When I get to the 1500, I'll go ahead and shoot a video on that. As you can see, all the scratches are up and down now. And then another little thing I like to do is kind of makes it all worth it. You get your panel wet, you kind of see what it's going to look like there. There we go. Get your panel wet, that's what it's going to look like. Most likely. A lot of work to wet sanding, but it's pretty rewarding. I think if I had more experience painting, there wasn't so much orange peel on it, probably been a lot easier wet sanding. But it was pretty bad on orange peel. It looked decent until you actually started looking for it. So you can also start seeing a kind of a shine come to it. Every step you do, you'll see more of a shine come. This right here's 800 grit, and this is 1000 grit. All right, well, I'm gonna get back to it, and like I said, I'll record doing that. I'll do all the steps on that quarter for you guys. Then I'll do the rest of the car off camera, because it'll get pretty boring watching it. It gets pretty boring doing it. Alright guys, well I kind of cheated a little bit again. So this is 800 grit. Then this is 1000 grit. You can kind of see the shine to it. There we go, a little bit. Then I went to AutoZone and I got a 3000 grit pad for my DA. It's got a sponge material on it. And I went over the 1000 grit section on the trunk, see how it did, see if I'd have to go 1500. And I'm pretty impressed. So there's 3000 grit after 1000 grit, 800 grit, and 1000 grit. That's no buffing compound or nothing yet. So I don't think I'm gonna go any higher than 1,000 grit by hand. I'll go ahead and do a quarter pound like I told you guys I would with the DA, and definitely a lot simpler, a lot less effort, and it turns out really good. You can kind of see some lines. I went this way with it, then up a little bit and back over. You can kind of see those lines if you look close, but the buffing compound I use to get it right out. If not, then I guess I'll sand it some more, but I feel pretty confident. I'll go ahead and set you guys up, and I'll go ahead and wet sand this with a DA and show you how much easier it is. Now since there's a cushion on it, it's so you don't burn through the paint or the clear coat. But I'm still gonna be pretty easy around the body lines, or the body curve, I guess I should say, just because I had a bad experience with that already. So I'll go ahead and hit this up and show you how it's done. Alright guys, so first you want to wet your pad up. Then your panel. I ain't gonna do much talking during this. I'll probably not fast forward or something, so you gotta listen to the sound very much. But when I do it, I'll go like here, I'll drop down, I don't know, 25%, then do another row, another 25%, do another row. I did that a couple times, and that's how I got the trunk like I do now. So I'm gonna get to it. I'm gonna go ahead and check it just because I burnt through the panel once, well the clear coat once. I'm scared to do it again. So I'd rather not do any more than I have to. Definitely a lot of work goes into it when you burn through the clear. Another thing is I dropped my squeegee on the floor. Make sure you clean it off really good before you go squeegeeing your car off. If there's any kind of grit or anything, you're going to put a scratch in your car, and then you have to work on an extra scratch that shouldn't really be there. Just a little heads up, I guess. Pretty much all there is to it. I can still see some scratches. I doubt I'm gonna make them out in the video, so I might hit it quickly one more time, possibly. Yeah, especially through here. You kind of see how it's a little cloudier there. But there's pretty good reflection off of it right now. By the time it's all done, it should look like a mirror. Except spots like this I missed. The reason why I did that is because I don't want to get too close to that edge and burn through it. And you're not going to really be able to tell because of the edge. You're going to be able to tell more on a flat surface. Alright, well I'm going to hit this one more time and then do all that to the whole car. But remember, I left off the 800 up here, so this is what that looks like. And then 3,000. It's kind of dirty now because the water splattered everywhere. Should come out pretty nice though. So after I get the whole car sanded at 3,000, I'll get back with you guys and show you how to go about polishing it. Well, buffing and then polishing it. Alright guys, well I decided to wet sand the whole car with 2,000 grit. I think you can see how fine the scratches are now. I did this for two reasons. One being the step before this was 1,000 grit, and jumping up to 3,000 is kind of a big jump. So I didn't want to ruin the one piece of sandpaper I had. That's my second reason. I live in kind of a littler town, and AutoZone only had one piece of 3,000 for the DA. And all the other part stores around here didn't have anything that fine for DA. The finest they went was like 400. So I gotta kind of save it some. So I figure if I do 2,000, then it won't have to cut so much away. And the 1,000 grit was kind of deeper scratches for the 3,000 cut away. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit it with the DA. I got my mirror deletes put in. No, I'm just kidding. Still masking tape. Figure might as well keep the mirrors off of it until I'm done buffing it and stuff. One more thing I have to get around. Alrighty, well, better give you guys a little update. It's getting kind of late tonight, but I'm going to try to have it all buffed. At least the first step of buffing. I get up at 3 in the morning to go to work, and it's a little after 10 right now, I think. So I'm kind of tired, but I'm going to try to get as much done as possible. Well, I'll get back with you guys when I get it all DA'd, and I'll show you what it looks like then.